Welcome to Gutter Trash episode 382, Batman White Knight by Sean Murphy with Matt Hollingsworth and Todd Klein.
Hey, yeah.
My name is Eric.
I'm Jason. I'm glad you mentioned Todd Klein's name.
Yeah, he deserves it.
He's awesome.
He is. Probably top 3 letters working in comics today.
So, Dave Sim
And John Byrne.
and John Byrne. I don't know. Would you consider Dave Sim working in comics today?
Oh, okay, probably not.
Because he has got a book coming out
Every month.
but it's all recycled art, and I think he writes maybe like a third of the jokes or whatever in there.
Yeah. Could you call them jokes?
I think that's what they are.
Okay.
I don't know.
So I feel like our deductive reasoning has come to the conclusion that he is not currently working in comics today.
Yeah, that's probably true. So the best 3 letters are Todd Klein, Ben Hobbs, and who's the third one?
John Byrne.
John Byrne. Yeah.
Who I guess you could also argue is not working in comics currently.
All right. So Todd Klein is the undisputed champion.
Yeah.
Nice.
And Ben Hobbs.
And Ben Hobbs, yeah. For those of you who may not know, Ben Hobbs is the guy that does like a large percentage of the new Cerebus thing, Cerebus in Hell.
Yeah.
Including some of the lettering, some of the cover jokes, and some of the like minor artwork. Soon to be some of the major artwork. I think there's an issue coming up where he draws a good percentage of it. But yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. It's
because we know him.
yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
He shops at my work, and he's the brother of one of our former coworkers. And yeah, it's one day I just saw his name in the previews, and I was like, "That's funny that this guy who shops at my work has the same name as a guy who's working on Cerebus." What a coincidence. But it turns out it was the same dude.
Yeah. And we'll say no more.
All right. Batman White Knight. Here it is.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh. Todd Klein is a douchebag, or just sign languaged.
What?
I couldn't believe it.
That's...
You're really bad at sign language. Maybe that's not what you meant.
It's true. I am trying to learn sign language so that I never have to speak again.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. I mean, probably will go poorly for the podcast.
Well, I don't know. Could be better.
Fair?
But
Totally fair.
Wouldn't your carpal tunnel like play into the complexity of...
I suppose if, like, in the middle of a sign, if I have a severe hand cramp, that could probably...
Yeah, you, like, stop and you, like, just do that thing where you, like, stretch all your fingers at once, and then someone, like, some lady, like, presses her eyes are really wide, and she presses her palms to her cheeks in surprise that you've said something so terrible. I don't know what that means, but...
Me neither. Yeah.
I know a little sign language, but not enough to carry on a big conversation.
Yeah, I know none. Like, when I was, like, in the 2nd grade, I had, like, one of those little booklets that, like...
Showed you the keyword.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But, that was 30-some years ago.
That was a while back, yeah. Yeah, it's fun. I actually like it a lot.
Yeah.
But I haven't practiced it in so long that I don't remember 90% of it. So.
Yeah. I know some of the clients that I work with at We Care Arts use it occasionally.
Oh, okay.
And, for some of them, that's like their only way of communicating.
Right. Their primary language.
Yeah.
At least.
And like one in particular, like the one that I work with directly for the most part, he's nonverbal. But, like, I don't think he even does sign language, but he does understand sign language.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've seen people sign to him, and he acknowledges it in his own way.
Right.
But at the same time, he also hears. So, like, you can just talk to him, and he understands what you're, telling him.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
He just has trouble, like, communicating with words, I guess.
I wouldn't say trouble communicating. That implies that he has some capability of communicating.
Oh, okay.
He does not.
Okay.
Yeah. Other than making fart noises, which I find adorable and hilarious.
I do too. Like in most cases. You know?
Yeah.
Occasionally not, but mostly.
Yeah. So this is all us talking about Batman.
It's all leading up. Yeah, you might think that this talk of fart noises is just an unprofessional thing that doesn't have any bearing on the story, but once you get to the end of issue 8, you'll know why we talked about all the farting. Oh man, it's a big old fart fest there. Commissioner Gordon farting on the bat signal.
Yeah, they call it Joker gas for a reason.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh man. So this book is about a year old ish.
Ish.
Like it started about a year ago.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, it's probably more accurate.
But it's kind of one of those unique Marvel or DC books where one dude writes and draws the whole thing.
Yeah,
That's kind of a rarity.
it is, at least these days.
Yeah.
I think that's something that was a little bit more common in the 80s and maybe even the 90s a little bit. But over the last 10 to 15 years, I'd say that's been not as common.
Unless you're like Neil Adams or somebody who's
Well,
got
sure, who's
a
out of your
huge-
prime.
Right. Oh, I was going to say who's had a name, huge name forever. I mean, Sean Murphy is clearly
Not out of his prime.
not out of his prime, but I'm surprised that he has garnered that sort of, like those doors have been opened to him to write and draw a Batman miniseries by himself.
Yeah. It is a little odd. I mean, he's been kicking around for quite a while and certainly, deserves a good reputation because he's a fucking great artist.
Oh, yeah.
This is our third Sean Murphy book that we've reviewed, at least.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Joe the Barbarian, written by Grant Morrison, and then his very own Punk Rock Jesus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I know he's done some other stuff here and there. Obviously,
Yeah. Tokyo Ghost and
Tokyo Ghost, and
The Wake.
The Wake with Scott Snyder.
It's a lot of DC stuff.
A lot of DC stuff. I know he did a couple of at least shorter stints on Hellblazer back when that was a viable thing that I loved. Instead of soulless Halloween costume version of John Constantine that's been kicking around. Not bitter.
Of course
not upset.
No.
Yeah, and his own indie stuff too, like Off-Road, I believe, is something that he did once.
He's got a bibliography.
He does indeed. But it's cool to see. It's cool to see not only someone like him be given, the keys to a character like Batman to just sort of do what he wants, but to not have it adhere to any sort of continuity or fit within the parameters of everything else that DC has published.
Yeah, like their universe events and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
And also not having to make a big hubbub of we're giving him his own special imprint.
Yeah, right. It's not a black label thing or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything on the cover to let you know that this is separate from, overall DC continuity.
Right.
But it is. Like, it doesn't tie into anything.
Because I think the biggest thing, and mostly why this book sucks, is that Batman wears a different costume.
Huh. He does.
And the Joker has a name.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck Sean Murphy. And fuck this book. I hated it. It's trash.
And this has been episode 380 something. 382. So why is this book called Batman White Knight? The people want to know. Because it's usually you think of Batman as the Dark Knight.
Yeah. Because, this is not a spoiler. This was pretty much the solicitation copy for the entire series.
Yeah.
The Joker gets cured.
Yeah. And like very early on in the first issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he becomes sane and decides that Batman's kind of a problem.
Yeah. Right.
And he basically goes on a campaign to basically, in not a particular what you would consider the Joker way,
right.
but in a more political way, get rid of Batman.
Right. Yes. Because he basically sees Batman as a thug and a terrorist, and I think a key element to that is Batman does go kind of off the deep end when he's battling the Joker.
Sure.
And he is caught on video, because everybody's got their cell phones out.
Right.
So he's caught on video, kind of taking things and, kind of blurring the lines between what's right and wrong, and in his attempts to stop the Joker. And people start to realize that maybe Batman is kind of a detriment to their way of living.
Yeah.
On occasion.
Yeah.
To their safety, and and the Joker also, or Jack Napier is right that they need to eradicate him.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because usually, like Batman, there's been a lot of stories in the past where Batman was sort of vilified or whatever, or just not understood, but it's kind of not been that way for a while. So it's kind of interesting to see him put back in that situation.
Yeah. And even in those other stories, it's never been quite in, the terms of it as it is in the story.
Yeah, it's more like usually it's like early on in his career and they don't understand him, or
right.
They fear him or whatever. But this one's like, hey, he's actually just fucking wrong here.
Yeah. Right. So I had a bit of a roller coaster of opinions as I was reading this book.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when the first issue came out, I read like the first 2 or 3 as they came out during one of my many futile attempts to try to keep up with what I'm buying.
I know, right? It's impossible.
and I had enjoyed them quite a bit, and then as they started falling behind, or I started falling behind, I was like, well, I'll just wait till the series ends,
right,
etc. So I read them all, again as one batch, and did not enjoy the first couple of issues as much as I did the first time that I read them.
Like, you liked them better when they were spaced out.
Yeah. And it could be also that, as you said, this came out about a year ago was when this first started coming out. The landscape of the comic industry has shifted a bit since that point.
Oh, yeah.
And me being, online as much as I am, because I have nothing else going on in my life, have been witness to some pretty horrible things that have happened in the comic industry online.
Mm-hmm. Like politically,
especially, yeah. And there was a lot of stuff in those first couple of issues that just really didn't sit well with me.
Oh yeah,
just. And again, this is one of those things where, I think a mistake that a lot of people do make online is that, if they read a comic by a certain creator, they then, if there's a political message, spoken by one of the characters, they then tend to ascribe that exact political thought pattern to the creator.
Right. It's like that person speaking instead of the characters.
Right, yeah. Whether, it's true or not,
right.
Because, I guess, the job of the writer is to be able to present multiple points of view.
Right.
But I did have a bit of a hard time separating, some, stuff that I have read about, Comicsgate and some of that ilk within these pages. Like it was kind of hard for me to separate Sean Murphy from some of the political views of some of the characters in this book.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that at all.
You're also not
on the internet
as much. Yeah. And just a lot of the language that was used is a lot of the same language that I see comic skaters spout.
Oh, okay.
And as far as I know, Sean Murphy is not pro comic skate. From what I remember of seeing like his Twitter feed or whatever.
Right.
But he has had the occasional, skewed view, but everybody does.
Sure.
But just, I don't know, it was hard for me to tell if he was actually trying to get across, like, his actual political point of view, or if he was just telling the story.
So which character was it that was saying?
It's mostly, like, the media characters.
Okay.
That I have that issue with a lot, but even the Jack Napier, throughout the story, occasionally, said some of the same stuff. Duke Thomas, also occasionally, had some of the same rhetoric, and it was just, uneasy at times for me.
Yeah, because the media, there's a pair of media people in this book that they kind of keep returning to, and it's like a woman of color and an old white dude.
Yeah.
And they do sort of have opposing views on the things that Jack is doing in Gotham and his intentions, and
right.
And it does seem sort of like the old white guy has the old white guy kind of voice, But I couldn't tell if that's just a reflection of what Sean Murphy sees in the media, or if I didn't even think about that though.
No.
That being a comic-skate-ish thing.
But that said, at around like issue 4, so about like the halfway points, like I kind of stopped really paying attention to that aspect of the book,
right?
And just started focusing more on just sort of the straight up, Batman of it all,
right? Yeah.
And by the end of it, I just found myself really enjoying just a straight up Batman action story.
Yeah.
Right. Because it is somewhat a political book, but at the same time, it is, there are like every Bat villain is in this story.
Yeah, some of them have pretty small screen time or whatever, but they're all there.
And it does focus a lot on Jack Napier and Harley Quinn, just sort of almost legitimately becoming good people.
Yeah, they're trying. Yeah, they really, like, because at first, you're a little leery, like, is this just some Joker plan where he,
Right.
But no, like, because it's not all, the story isn't told really from Batman's point of view. It's mostly told from Jack's point of view.
Yeah.
And Harley, so you see a lot of them, operating on their own, and you can tell, like, they actually are legitimately, being honest that this is they want to fix things and they care about the people of Gotham.
Right.
There's also, some I don't want to say ulterior motives, but things come into play later that they've also been working on, but it doesn't negate that they were actually sincere
Right.
about helping Gotham.
It's
They just kind of, just like Batman, sometimes they go about things in a way that blurs the lines.
exactly, yeah.
But yeah, but I didn't really like the story.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the idea of it, but I found it to be kind of boring and like a little confusing as far as, because there's so many different characters doing, I don't know, with different agendas, but it didn't mesh as well as, like, I don't know, I kind of hoped it would,
Right.
for being as complex.
There are some aspects of the story that I felt probably could have been trimmed and not really affected too much.
Right, it could have been tightened up a little bit.
Yeah, like the entire Mr. Freeze Nazi subplot.
That was one of the main things that bothered me. I was like,
yeah,
it really felt like they gave it enough time early on that you're like, this is going to have some sort of major payoff. And he did come into play as far as his role in the story, but it just felt like it was like a first draft of that of his character being in the script,
right,
and not really tightened up.
Let's see. I totally did not like any aspect of the Neo Joker storyline.
Yeah, that's another thing that could have been cool. I think Sean Murphy is a fantastic artist, and like, I think if he drew every comic, there'd be more improvement than there would be, detriment.
Sure.
But at the same time, I wish somebody else would have wrote this book. Like, I wish he would have, like, pitched his idea to, like, one of his writer friends, and they would have been like, I can do that.
Yeah. But, I mean, I loved Punk Rock Jesus.
That was so much better.
Yeah.
Story-wise.
So, I could see why, at least after that, an editor would be like, fuck yeah, do whatever you want, dude.
I agree. Yeah.
But it could have used definitely some tightening and maybe a Scott Snyder or a Tom King just lending a hand and saying,
like co-writing it.
Yeah.
But
Grant Morrison.
That would have been great. Oh, that would have been so much better. And like, they worked together before.
Exactly.
But I think he's one of the few people, though, that I think I could read eight issues. That's another thing. This could have been 4 or 5 issues.
Yeah.
But I do think Sean Murphy's one of the few people that could have had me read this 8-issue story that I didn't like and still say, I love this book. Because it is fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
It is like, there's it's 40 of these pages could be posters on my wall and I'd be happy.
Right.
It's awesome looking.
It's so in my few and futile, attempts at trying to be a comic book artist, the thing that I have always hated the most in attempting to draw are cars, vehicles.
They're kind of hard.
Yeah.
And backgrounds.
Yeah. And one aspect of that is that, it's hard to draw a car chase in a comic book. You know?
Oh yeah.
Like I specifically remember like reading in like an old interview in Wizard magazine, about an artist talking about like I'm gonna attempt to do a car chase well in comic books, because it's just not a thing that you ever saw much of,
Right.
And I think Sean Murphy is the guy that perfected that.
It's pretty awesome.
Because there are multiple car chase scenes throughout this entire series, leading up to, just a climactic scene where it's like every single Batmobile.
Oh, I know.
And
Oh,
like if I could get a boner anymore these days, like I would have had one there.
yeah. Those were some great scenes with like you got like the. He even includes like the '60s Batmobile,
Yep.
the Michael Keaton Batmobile. Like, yeah, there's some great Batmobile art in this in this book, and it makes me wonder. When I was reading those scenes, I actually thought about that. I was like, has he done storyboard work? Because it really does have like, it has like a good screen, like a movie screen, car chase motion type feel to it.
Right.
Like it doesn't really feel like what you see in comics for scenes of car chases.
Right.
It's really well done.
It's so well done. Guy draws a fucking amazing car.
I know. Oh, I know. Yeah, even like just some of the normal cars.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
But it was like looking at some of those pages was like it almost inspired me to want to draw like a car or two.
Right.
Yeah.
There's even, I think there's a scene where the Neo Joker and the Mad Hatter are just parked in a van.
Yeah.
And like the settings like panel is just like a picture of the back of that van. I was like, I remember lingering on that, and I was like, wow, the back of that van is perfect. I mean, it kind of took me out of the flow of the story for a minute,
Sure.
but yeah, he's incredible.
Yeah. I do say, I think the origin aspect of Neo Joker is clever.
Yeah.
And kind of a good fuck you to,
Right.
current comic books.
Yeah, because it's about Harley Quinn and how it kind of explains how she changed so drastically without really having any sort of, like, they never really addressed it in the comics.
Right. But like every other aspect of her in this story, just, oh man, it was just tedious.
Yeah. Yeah, I really didn't love the writing or the pace or like pretty much anything about the story. I did not love. Like it wasn't horrible.
No, not at all.
But I think if someone other than him had drawn it, like somebody that was just kind of like one of those, journeyman DC artists that just work and you don't know their name, but like they do a fine job.
Yeah.
I think I would have wanted to bail on this halfway through.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I do. One of the things that, like I said, after I started rereading it and just sort of getting put off by some of the political aspects of it, and also a little bit of the maybe overt fanboy love to Dark Knight Returns.
Oh yeah.
Some of that stuff, just didn't sit well with me, mostly just out of more annoyance than anything else.
Right.
I actually, in my head, managed to turn that around and begin to enjoy it for what it was, just through my own filter. Like, I don't know if that was, if it's anything like what Sean Murphy was thinking when he was doing this book, but, like I've long held the theory that, Frank Miller's Dark Knight series is sort of like, let's take the 60s Batman and, make him old and dark and grizzled.
Right.
I sort of started looking at this book as Sean Murphy taking the Batman the Animated Series Batman and doing a Dark Knight with that.
Okay, yeah.
Where it was, that version of Batman really dark and old and grizzled.
Right.
Because I feel like Batman is supposed to be like in his 50s in this.
Yeah, he looks a little older. Like he's, and he's definitely got that "you kids get off my lawn" kind of like, things have happened to him, and he's just tired.
Yeah. And then, of course, the fact that both stories also, revolve a little bit around Jason Todd, a little, or at least an aspect of it. But looking at it through, that filter, whether I'm wrong or right, like, helped me enjoy it more.
Right.
And ultimately, it's definitely not the best Batman comic I've ever read, but it is.
It's one of the best drawn.
It's definitely one of the best drawn, for sure. Yeah. Like, top 2 Batman drawn comics.
It's incredible. The art is just incredible.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just good.
Like, I'll totally buy the sequel.
Yeah, it seems like that's the other thing, too, is it really... I mean, there's some closure, but it has one of those endings where you're like, oh, okay, I guess it's leading into a second series.
Yeah. Curse of the White Knight coming out sometime eventually.
Oh, it is? That's what
yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay.
Azrael plays a part in it.
What?
Yeah.
But it's all Sean Murphy.
Yep.
And, Matt Hollingsworth and Todd Klein.
Probably, hopefully. Yeah. Although I think I read something Murphy is doing another Batman story with Scott Snyder at some point. Yeah,
I might be interested in that.
Yeah, but I mean, I'll get both as long as Sean Murphy is drawing it.
I'll at least look at the next series. I don't know if I'll read it.
I don't know if I'll read it.
Yeah,
but I'll definitely buy it.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
Because his art's gorgeous.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
He does great cityscapes, crowd scenes, action sequences. It's not just like
character work.
Oh yeah. It's not just one or two things he's good at. Great splash pages. There's a splash page of like the Joker in a library reading, and wow, it's just incredible.
Yep.
Or like there's like 3 silent panels of the quote unquote camera moving through like the subterranean area of the Batcave or the Wayne Manor, and just seeing all the different lightings and the doorways and passages. It's just like, he is phenomenal.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So if you want an art lesson, definitely buy this comic.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If you want to learn how to do action and draw cars and awesome looking cities and just
whatever,
perfect fucking art.
Yeah. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah. And if you want, a really good Batman story,
maybe read something different.
Yeah. Go watch Batman the Animated Series.
Although, to his credit, what else can you? I mean, what can you really do with Batman now? I mean, even if it's a good story, it's probably a story you've read a dozen times if you read a lot of Batman.
This is something that you've brought up a lot.
Yeah. I am like growing tired of reading these characters. I still like them, but I feel like it's all been done. Because even on this, like, it kind of, like, it feels like it's way different, and I would like to have seen this story end with Batman rotting away in prison,
Sure.
But like, it always has to go back to the status quo.
Yeah. Even when it's out of continuity.
I know, and that bugs me. That really does.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So I challenge you out there, people, to write a good Batman story that is completely refreshing and new and different.
And more Bat Dick.
More Bat Dick. That was what this was lacking.
That's the one thing Sean Murphy didn't have, was the foresight to draw some foreskin.
Wow. That's right.
Take a break?
Yeah.
Sure.
Welcome back to the podcast.
That's us.
Yeah. What's happening?
Hey, just sucking on a mint.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Yeah. So, I apologize to the listener.
Oh.
Because it could get gross.
Oh, there you go, guys. Oh. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, we were going to talk about one of your favorite things about the book that we forgot to mention.
Oh, yeah. So, I think in every issue?
At least more than one, yeah.
Yeah. DC apparently made some sort of deal with Snickers.
And the devil.
Hey, you know what? This is all I'm going to say. Is back in the day when Hostess had their famous comic character featuring ads,
Right, yeah.
at least they were good.
Yeah.
And also, they were also clearly distinguished as ads.
Yeah.
And despite the fact that these were drawn by some of those journeyman no-name DC artists that you were talking about earlier,
Right.
who are very distinguishable between, Sean Gordon Murphy. Every fucking time I was reading a page of Sean Gordon Murphy art, and then I looked to the next page, and I'd be reading a fucking Snickers ad.
And you'd get like a panel or two in before you realize it's a Snickers ad.
Yep.
I'm
just like, okay, I don't know why the Flash is in this all of a sudden.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's jarring because, the top portion of the page doesn't let you know that it's an ad. It just has panels, and you start reading it because you're in the middle of a story of panels that you read in the comic, and then, all of a sudden you realize you've been duped.
Yep. Maybe the old Hostess ads were even buffered by, like, other ads.
Yeah.
So that you know that it's an ad.
Or it'd be, like, after the story sometimes, I think.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. It's a little more nefarious, it feels like, what they're doing now.
Yeah. And also, they're not good.
No.
Like even the Hostess ads were at least slightly clever at times.
It makes me not want to buy a Snickers, too.
I don't want to buy Snickers anyway, because I kind of hate Snickers.
Oh, really? I love them.
Yeah.
But I only steal them now after reading these ads.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Because I feel like I've already paid for them.
Well, sure. With your soul.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of peanuts. I'm not a fan of chocolate. I am not a fan of caramel. And
but you put them together and you love it.
And put them together, and that's a Snickers.
Yeah.
It also possibly stems from the fact that for years, my dad just had a stash of Snickers just in the living room.
His mustache made of Snickers?
He did.
Wow.
Yeah.
He just kept it on his upper lip?
Yep. But only in the living room.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
If he went to any other room in the house, he would take it off.
Wow. That is weird. What do you, reapply? Like a Twix stash from...
From room to room, yeah, different candies.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
Twix, Nestle's Crunch.
What a zany wild card that guy was.
He is, as far as I know, he's still alive.
Well, I mean, I didn't know he's still doing that.
Oh, yeah, it's possible he's still doing that.
Okay,
I
cool.
haven't been to his house in 3 years.
Right? It's not. I don't like those ads, so do not like them.
Yeah.
Didn't they do a different one? What was it that had the half-page ads? Remember those?
Oh, right Twix, left Twix.
Yeah.
Yep,
Was it was Twix?
Yeah, I believe so. Yep.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah. No, they're bad. Ads are bad.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying, too, on the break. I was like, I might just sell my run of White Knight on eBay and then pick up the trade because there's no ads.
Yeah.
So, even if I, lose, a buck in that whole endeavor, I might do that. I think it'd be
almost worth it just to have the no ads.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I absolutely will do if it happens? If there's a black and white version of this book that comes out,
oh, that sounds great. Yeah.
I will absolutely trade these issues in for that. left.
Nothing against Matt Hollingsworth.
No, nothing at all. He's a great colorist, and the colors in this book are great.
Yeah, they are, actually.
But I like me some black and white.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just the way it is. Just the way I am.
I wonder if you could just soak them in bleach. You want to try that?
Okay.
That might get the color out. Yeah.
Sure?
Yeah, let's do that.
Since you're just going to sell yours on eBay anyway, can we use yours?
Sure, yeah.
All right.
I'll just, I might have to mention that in the eBay thing, slightly soaked in bleach.
Yeah.
Some minor shelf wear and bleach throughout.
All right, good night, everybody.
Yeah. So,
how are you?
I'm good. I'm tired, and I think I'm getting a cold.
I'm
So
sorry.
my throat hurts. Yeah.
The weather's been a piece of shit lately, so
It's been a lot of back and forth here.
Yeah.
I actually like a lot of the weather we've had recently, like the rain
Sure, the
days.
sun's not been
I
out.
know, I don't like that thing. But yeah, I think it's caused me to get a little, my immune system's a little haggard right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was 65 3 days ago, and then the next day there was 3 inches of snow on the ground.
Yeah,
So
it's jarring.
yeah, a little bit.
It's like the Snickers ad of life. Other than that, I'm good. Yeah. You?
Well, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've started a new job.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm employed again.
So that's great.
Yeah. Not full time employed, but I am twice part time employed.
That's
Enough to equal full time employed.
great.
But with none of the benefits.
But you don't have to drive super far away every day.
Not really. So the main job, which is 4 days a week, 6 hours a day, is in a city called Englewood, which is
About 20 minutes north of here, isn't it?
sorta, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the thing, the easiest route to get there from my place is to take highways, and it takes about 20 minutes, and it's about 24 miles. Or I can take all back roads and go through downtown and, hit all sorts of fun traffic and side roads and whatnot. And it takes about 30 to 40 minutes, but it's only 13 miles.
That's weird.
Yep.
Well, yeah, downtown.
Yeah.
Especially the time of day, probably.
Yeah. So that's the route I've been taking, actually.
Really? The
Yeah.
downtown one?
Yep.
Huh.
Because 13 miles compared to 24 miles.
But that's all that's starting and stopping.
But I have spent 12 years driving 100 miles a day plus.
Right. Yeah.
And it has taken some toll.
Yeah, okay.
And I figured out it's not the length of the drive, or the time length of the drive that bothers me. It is just, the tedium and the repetitiveness of the
highway
drive.
driving.
Yeah. And I get to stop and look at some weird buildings
That's
occasionally
true.
on this way. Yeah.
There's some cool buildings downtown.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure there's some oddball characters walking across the
Oh, yeah.
crosswalks.
Yeah. And it's not like I'm in downtown that long.
Right.
It's just a couple miles while I'm there, and then I'm just off of some other roads.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm enjoying it so far.
Well, that's good.
The drive and the job.
I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad you found something that you're digging.
Yeah. It is not anything like I have ever worked at before.
Right.
And it's also not a place that anybody would ever assume that I would ever work at.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
It's a strip club.
No, we would assume you'd work there. Just
Oh, okay.
like taking the money at the door. Or
Right,
something.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm a big guy. I would
You could scare
probably
people.
be that guy. Yeah, I guess what would be the one place that you wouldn't expect me to ever work at, other than where I'm currently working?
That'd be. No, that would be it. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think there's a different job. Maybe if you said like maybe like if I train Olympians to run faster, maybe that'd be up there. But
fair.
But yeah, no, it's it's interesting.
Yeah, it is. It really is. I'm not gonna get into it.
Right.
Not here.
Sure.
Yeah. I spewed a lot about my old job when I was there.
Yeah. Sure.
For some reason, I feel the need to not talk about this one.
Well, yeah, give it some time. Maybe,
that too. Yeah. Yeah. It's a new relationship.
Mm-hmm. Well, I hope it continues to go well.
I hope so as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there was a comic show this past weekend.
Oh yeah, we attended. I exhibited on behalf of Mavericks,
and I exhibited on behalf of Heartland Federal Credit Union.
Yeah, there you go. You did them proud.
Yes, I did. They're like, boy, look at his bank account shrink. Good job, Eric.
It was a decent show. It was like, it was busy in the morning when we were there, and we sold a lot of stuff for a couple hours, and then it kind of like drastically switched after that to just like people were just kind of milling around and talking and looking at stuff, but we didn't really sell a whole lot after the first couple hours there.
Yeah. I showed up, it was around like 1:30, 2 o'clock when I got there, because I had to sleep, because I have my second job that I work on the weekends.
As an Olympian trainer?
Yes.
Running
Yep.
trainer, yeah.
Yeah, I'll talk about that one all day long. Yeah. We train at night, and that's why I have to sleep during the day.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Less people out and about, so you can run freely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I showed up and was like, yeah, you had told me that it had slowed down significantly, and our friend Matt Brassfield was there, and I talked to him briefly, and like all he did was just complain about how the show wasn't good, and he didn't buy anything, even though I think he wound up buying like $40 worth of dollar books.
Right.
Because that's his
version of not buying anything. Yeah. He's like, all I found were these 40 werewolf books. It was like kind of a dud show.
But I mean, I found a couple books that like I've been looking for quite a while, you know, and in some various bins. And I think I figured out I can't go to those shows like with a list.
Oh yeah,
and say this is what I'm looking for.
Unless you have like a crazy big list that's super varied.
Right.
Then you might find a couple of things.
Right.
But
and I do for the most part, but like it's like not organized or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like I ran into when I was looking at one of the vendors there. This girl had like this binder. Like, I mean, it was like a thick fucking binder, and every page had a color thumbnail of every issue of whatever it was she was looking for.
Oh, wow. So she would like recognize the covers and everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
So she would like, and I mean it's a binder, so it takes up like, you know, the width of like 2 long boxes.
Yeah.
And then so she's got it on its side, and she's like flipping it like a calendar,
right?
You know, and so like I'm just trying to like shuffle through long boxes, and I gotta wait for her to, get through it. And for some reason, I don't know why, like usually when I go long box diving, like I try to just like stay away from people, as I do in the rest of my life.
Sure.
But this was a very small table, and like there was me, that girl, and her dad.
We got you
something, and like some other guy, like all trying to cram into like these 5 long boxes, and like her binder was taking up 2 of them at a time.
Right. Yeah.
So that was annoying, but
That's crazy. I've never thought to. The amount of like color ink you would use.
right?
Like,
Yeah.
wouldn't it be cheaper just to buy those books on eBay for full price?
Sure.
It's a $1 dive.
Or, do what I do and have an app on your phone that also shows you what the covers look
That's
like.
true.
For the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah. But yeah, I've got that app and it's got like my wish list and the stuff that I'm looking for, and but I don't go into the show like saying, okay, this is exactly what I'm going to find.
Yeah.
Like I'm looking through a long box, and if I happen to see a book that's like, I think that's one that I need,
Right.
then I grab it, then double check on my phone, to make sure that I don't already have it. Because dumb guy here has bought multiples of
That's the worst
shit.
That's the worst when you're like, I found this for only $1, and
Right.
you buy it, and then you realize you have it at home that you paid cover price for it, so
Right.
you really paid $5 for it instead of.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's always bad.
Yeah. But yeah, I found just a handful of stuff that I've been looking for, that I just have not been able to find anywhere else. So as far as I'm concerned, it was a good show.
It was all right. I didn't look around that much because, like I said, we were busy early on, and later on, I let Neil look around because he was actually looking for some things. And I looked at a bunch of dollar boxes, and I didn't find anything at all. I saw like a thing here or two there. I was like, oh, that looks okay for $1. I might read that, but I've got plenty to read. But there was nothing I was excited about.
Right.
So I spent $1 while I was there on potato chips, and that was all I bought because our friend Pete had a Grupo's barbecue chips.
He's not our friend.
Yeah, he's my friend.
He's your friend.
Or at least my acquaintance. I mean, I've never hung out with him outside of a work setting, but
he is of no relationship to me whatsoever, other than a guy I occasionally buy reluctantly a comic from.
Right. Yeah, he's all right. I don't mind the Pete, but I just couldn't find anything I wanted. Like there was even one guy's bin that had they had a bunch of old magazines for $1 each, like some old like Howard the Duck magazines and Rampage and Hulk, and like it's pretty good for $1, but I don't really want them.
Right.
And I was looking, he had a bunch of comics journals, and I was flipping through those, but there was like the only one I even thought about buying. There was a 80s Frank Miller one. And I was like, well, that might be interesting because like that's like the time period I really like Frank Miller a lot.
Sure.
But I was like, I don't.
As you should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't really need to read that though, so I passed on it. But yeah, it was okay. It was an okay show.
Yeah, I found some stuff, some weird stuff that like I picked up just because it was like, it's $1, or at the namesake of the show's table, the Jim and Dan table.
Oh yeah.
They were having a deal where like if you bought $15, or if you bought $15 books, they would give it to you for $10.
Oh,
So
yeah, that's not bad.
yeah, and I think like if you bought like 50, they would give it to you for like $30, something like that. So I started flipping through their boxes, and I found some stuff, and I was just like, well, I'm clearly going to try to find at least 15 books then.
Right, might as well. If you're that close.
Yeah. So I found some, weird stuff. Like there was an old early 90s, late 80s book called Futurama.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I think it was slave labor.
Wow.
And
No relation to the show.
nothing to do with the show. Yeah.
Huh. I've never heard of that.
But it had sort of a... you remember that Terminal City comic from...
Dean Motter.
Yeah. Kind of... it had like a Dean Motter sort of vibe to it.
Huh.
Like mixed with
that.
like the old German movie Metropolis.
Okay.
Like just like sexy robot ladies and just like weird, like just very noir and Art Deco like art style.
But there was no suicide booths or
no,
mom's whatever products.
Cookies, yeah.
Mom's cookies, yeah. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a 3-issue series. They had 2 of them, so I bought those. Also, that reminds me, at my second job at the hotel, on the weekends, Sci-Fi Channel shows like 7 episodes of Futurama at like midnight.
Oh, that's great.
And so that's pretty much what I watch when I'm at work.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's pretty great. But the crown jewel, of course, of what I found was the Rock and Roll Comics Encyclopedia Metallica.
That's awesome.
It's a trade paperback with like 4 issues of revolutionary comics, rock and roll comics. Has Guns N' Roses, Metallica, Motley Crue, and Def Leppard.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
They're the monsters of rock.
And as I showed you, I was flipping through it the other day.
Yeah.
And I feel like, because we reviewed that documentary about rock and roll comics.
I don't think they mentioned that.
I don't know. Like, it feels familiar.
Really?
It
didn't to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Guns N' Roses comic that's reprinted in that book, drawn by Stuart Immonen.
Right?
Mostly famous for every fucking thing else.
Yes. Yeah. 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 I don't remember seeing his name on that, and I've read that book. But, I mean, I think the last time I read it, I didn't know who he was.
Sure, yeah.
But still, because that came out in, like, 90 or something, didn't it?
Yeah, late 80s, early 90s. Well, the trade came out in 90.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And obviously, it's a vastly different style.
Oh, yeah.
I was flipping through it, and there's like, okay, I can see the beginnings of what Stuart Immonen became.
Right.
Just at snippets.
Yeah, there was like one. Yeah, the panel you sent actually had the credits. Like I was like, okay, maybe.
Right. Yeah.
But I mean, I have that single issue, the Guns N' Roses one. I think that's the only one I actually own. And I had no idea that it was him.
I've read the Poison issue.
I mean, at one time I had a lot of them, but I actually found that Guns N' Roses one in a $1 box. I think like last year or something. So I bought it.
I mean, because Poison is like your second favorite band.
They're my first. Yeah. I don't have the word Melvins tattooed on my body.
That is true.
Oh man. But I remember the Poison comic not being that great. I remember I really liked, there was an Anthrax one I thought was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember liking the Guns N' Roses one, but the Poison one, I just remember not being that interested. Maybe the people that did it weren't real into Poison, so they didn't like,
it's possible,
spice it up at all.
Yeah, I saw the Stuart Immonen, and he is like one of my top 5 favorite comic artists ever. And the fact that like I just randomly picked up this book, mostly just for the laughs of it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I like Metallica.
Yeah, for $1.
Yeah, sure, yeah, less than $1, really. Are you okay? You having a heart attack?
My burrito is coming back to haunt me.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, it's heartburn.
Yeah.
But we're getting old. That's what happens.
That is true. I didn't tell the story about the day I decided to organize my DVDs and severely fucked up my leg because I was sitting on the floor for more than an hour.
Yeah, right? What is happening to us?
Just bodies are a piece of shit.
At least our auras inside will live on forever.
That's true. Fucking hippie.
But yeah, good show.
Yeah.
Decent show.
Yeah, it was fun.
Decent.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely walked. I mean, I didn't have the funds that I would normally have usually at a show like this, but yeah, I mean, I still spent my budget.
Yeah.
And nothing that I needed.
Well,
everything that I wanted.
There's really, unfortunately, as much as I hate to admit it, there's no comics that we need.
It's
but still, yeah.
No, that is sort of a motto that I use a lot is that, especially when I see people bitching about like certain things, like movies especially.
Right.
It's like we don't need these things. We can like them and we can want them, but nobody needs.
I mean, I guess they provide a service that service you need, but you could get that escapism or that sort of brief, segue from the relentless punishing, circumstances of life. You could get that from a book or a walk or
right.
Whatever. Smoke a crack under the freeway.
Sure.
Whatever
you're into.
Yeah, but
it's all good.
Yeah, all those things are great. But yeah, you don't specifically need any of them.
Right.
You can just you could go pet a cat. Yeah,
which I do.
Yeah, you do that. It's free.
And then I get sad when I have to leave. Oh, man, I am worried about you.
I'm having some esophagus pain.
Well, then I guess I'll leave my Superman story for just a private conversation.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to hear that sometime.
Yeah.
I've heard of Superman. I want to hear what his story is.
Yeah, well, he was, I guess I could tell it really quick.
Sure.
He was born on the planet Krypton.
Okay.
It was about to explode.
The planet was?
The planet was.
Okay.
His dad just tried to make an effort to save his son and sent him off in a rocket ship where he crash landed on Earth, and he had powers, and he became Superman.
That's great.
After he was raised by a kindly farming couple.
That was some foresight on his papa's part there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I could build a rocket ship to shoot onto another planet.
No.
Especially like in a deadlines type situation.
Sure,
like that,
sure. Both the birth of your child and the Earth exploding.
They're commingling.
Yeah. I mean,
that's some pressure.
That is a lot of pressure. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I guess you probably could try to build a rocket, but then, you never really know if it succeeded or not.
Yeah, what if it didn't?
Yeah.
What if it just spun right back to the burning world?
Or what if it did work enough to just shoot his kid out into space and then just kind of fizzle?
He's eaten by space leopards.
Space leopards, or just, there's a crack in the hull, which causes him to just die in the vacuum of space.
Or you know how kids are. He's fumbling
around with shit.
He hits a button and like the whole canopy raises up.
Right? Yeah.
Just freezes to death instantaneously.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's another thing. Like, is he just going to expect little Kal-El to just sit still in this rocket ship for however long it takes?
Maybe he didn't put a release on the inside. It's just on the outside.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Hopefully he packed some food in there.
Right? Yeah.
Some
water.
Right?
Milk.
They didn't you didn't figure that part out, I guess.
And can you just imagine, like, just how full of shit that rocket was when it finally landed?
It probably smelled horrible. Well, good thing you landed on a farm where it smells like shit all the time.
Exactly. Just mom and pop Ken are used to that.
Like, whatever. Like, my pants are full of shit right now.
And then Clark Kent grew up and joined FarmersOnly.com.
Yeah. Because he don't want to be lonely.
DC, hire us.
They should. We'll get rid of those ads. We'll hook you up with Farmers Only. Shit Baby Story, Space Leopards, Jeff Johns. You're fired. It's going to be awesome. What else might be awesome is the book I was thinking about picking.
Okay.
I don't know because I have not read it yet.
Alrighty.
So maybe it sucks. It's called Oh Kill Strike.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it?
Never heard of it.
You want me to tell you who it's by?
Please.
Max Bemis or Bemis.
Ooh, okay. Hold on.
And Logan Farber.
Okay.
Farberson.
Yeah. My veto.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Uh-oh.
Just, like, I mean, is Max Bemis, like, I know he's written some other comics, but isn't he also, like, the dude from Fallout Boy, or
I have
some
no
other
idea.
terrible fucking pop punk band?
I actually have no idea. I've never read anything by the person. I've heard the name, but I think doesn't he do Rumble? Is that him?
No.
Okay.
No.
I have no idea.
That is John Arcudi and a couple of other artists.
Okay. Then I honestly have no idea who Max Bemis or Bemis.
I think he's like the singer of like one of the world's shittiest pop punk bands.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a recent pop punk band, so you know they're super shitty.
Huh. Okay.
I'm gonna have to look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's enough that it makes me question whether I want to read it or not.
Okay.
Like I feel I've used a veto already.
Oh, I'm sure you've used one or two over the years. He's looking it up right
Yes,
now.
I am. Max Bemis.
And I'm looking up my second pick just in case. Have you heard of Max Bemis, listener?
So Maxim Adam Bemis. So there's a strike against him right there.
He didn't name himself. We've went over this. People don't name themselves.
He was in a band called Say Anything. And also sings alongside Chris Conley in the supergroup Two Tongues.
Chris Conley from the Ministry?
No, I believe he is Bright Eyes?
That's Colin Oberst or something.
Okay. Oh, this is he's the singer from Saves the Day.
Oh. Now I want to veto it. Wait a minute. Oh, this guy's not in Saves the Day.
No, this guy is in Say Anything.
I don't know what that is. Other than a John Cusack movie, I think.
He's pop punk, indie rock, and emo.
What's not to love? It's okay. You can veto. I'll tell you how
know
great.
what?
I'll tell you how great that book was.
I'm not gonna veto it.
You're not going to?
I'm not gonna.
Okay. Oh, Killstrike.
Oh, Killstrike. I still don't know what the fuck that is, but all right,
Yeah.
sure.
All right. So read along, listener.
Is it like oh, as in like oh
Like-
brother, where art thou, or is it oh as in oh Killstrike?
I think it's more like, oh, Killstrike.
Okay. Okay, I'm on board.
All right. I should have
You should have said it that way.
enunciated it that
Yeah.
way. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. OH, comma Killstrike.
Okay.
Exclamation mark.
Who published that thing?
Question mark. I'm gonna now put in all the punctuation.
Okay.
Where it goes. I honestly don't remember. I just bought the trade once, so yeah.
Alrighty. Yeah.
Cool. That's what we'll do.
Not excited, but I'll read it.
All right.
Clearly, I don't own it.
Oh, I do.
All
I
right.
got it. I just have not read it yet, so I will check it out. But yeah, I mean, sometimes it turns out okay when a
Sure.
person from a band writes the thing. Like,
Gerard way.
yeah, right?
Yeah.
Opening the doors for everyone.
Yep. I guess. I mean, I still probably will never read any of those. The fuck is that band?
The Carpenters.
No, I mean, I would probably read a Carpenter's comic. Fuck. They put out like all those like concept albums.
Pink Floyd?
No. Coheed and Cambria.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like, I don't want to read any of their fucking comics.
Amory Wars or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. Fuck all that. I don't care how many Tony Moore covers they get on there.
Right.
Not doing that.
not doing it.
Fuck Coheed and Cambria.
What if Huey Lewis started writing tarot? Would you read that?
I want to read tarot anyway. Like, I am not joking.
Yeah.
It has for years been something that I kind of have wanted to pick for the
Right.
show.
I wouldn't veto it.
Like, in a way, like it's gotta be so bad that it's great, right?
I mean, That's what it looks like, but
That's what I'm hoping it is.
But I know he's actually kind of a decent cartoonist. I don't know. I mean, who knows? Who knows? Maybe
Well, I
it's
mean,
good.
like like Sean Gordon Murphy is like an amazing artist and wrote this kind of mediocre Batman story.
Yeah.
Jim Balent is a pretty good, girly artist. And probably is just a shitty comic story.
Probably.
But hopefully in a way that is just like,
entertaining.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping out of that book.
Maybe I'll look for a trade at a library sometime.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to buy that.
No, God. Yeah, that's the other part. I don't want to spend money.
Plus, you don't want to be the guy like, hey, look, that guy just bought the tarot trade.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe... Okay, like if I go on Amazon...
Oh, and it's like $2.
Less.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like... like that one book that I bought for a penny that actually turned out to be pretty great.
Right.
Like if I could find tarot for a penny, like a trade paperback of tarot for a penny, I'm 1,000% on board.
I'd probably pay a penny.
Yeah.
Maybe upwards of a nickel.
All right. So that's our goal.
Yeah.
Is sometime before we end the podcast,
we got to end it with tarot.
We'll read a tarot trade.
Yes.
But now we're going to read Kill Shot.
Kill Strike.
Strike.
Yeah.
See? Nothing I like about this at all.
Well, hopefully we'll enjoy it.
I hope so, too. Alrighty.
Well, that's been fun. I'm going to go take some antacids.
Yeah. And maybe some cough drops.
Yeah, something.
Yeah. I'm going to stay up for 7 more hours.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
It's midnight.
Is it really? This is
Almost.
like the latest I've been up in a long time.
Yeah.
No, like a week or two.
Yeah.
But
since drawing night.
Right.
Yeah. Which tonight is supposed to be drawing night.
Yeah, but it's not going to happen.
It's not gonna, I mean, I will.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Yeah. Because I've got to stay up for 7 more hours.
Right. Yeah. Well, good luck.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to Gutter Trash. You can subscribe to the show from guttertrash.net or from iTunes and leave us a review. Visit guttertrash.net for email information and for other podcasts and websites in the Gutter Trash Network. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.